Senator Mike Johanns, Republican of Nebraska, was talking about filibuster reform on the floor, and he said this.
And they can bring this to a vote, and on a straight party line vote, they can appoint the entire judiciary of the United States in the district courts and in the circuit courts with absolutely no involvement whatsoever from the minority. None. That's what their rule change did. Now, let me take that rule change and think out loud about where we put ourselves as a country. I wonder who was the first United States senator in our history who came to the floor and said, "My fellow senators, I have thought about this. I have contemplated it. Maybe I have even prayed about it. And I believe the day has arrived to end slavery in the United States. And I will be attaching an amendment to every bill to end that horrific practice." I'll bet they were a very lonely United States senator at that point in our history. But I'm also guessing that that senator and tenacious other senators along the way exercise their rights as a minority.
So understand what he just argued. He says democracy is like slavery. 51 votes beating 49 votes is like slavery. Because that's what the Democrats did with the filibuster reform. They made it so that 51 votes beats 49 votes, particularly and only with judicial appointments and some other executive appointments, but not for regular legislation, not for Supreme Court legislation, not for, Supreme Court picks from the Obama administration. So it's just for the judiciary, and it's 51 votes now beats 49 votes. And this guy compared that to slavery. Wow. So what's the alternative? What, you would like it that the people who get the lesser votes end up winning? Is that what you're in favor of? Because that's got to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, why did the Democrats even do filibuster reform in the first place? Because it used to be that you needed over 60 votes to do some sort of a judicial appointment or to do any kind of presidential appointment. And why did they go for the so-called nuclear option? Because get this, how's this for a fact? In the history of the nation, the entire history of the United States, there's been 168 filibusters of judicial and presidential nominees. That's throughout the entire history of the U.S. How many of them occurred under President Obama since he's been in office? Half of them. They block everyone. They're on the record as saying, look, we don't even have a beef with a lot of these particular picks that you guys have, but we're going to block them anyway. So how can you possibly get mad at the Democrats when the level of obstruction on the Republican side of the aisle is monumental, is historic? They should have done this so-called nuclear option, which is just 51 votes beating 49 votes. It's the least nuclear thing I've ever heard of in my life. They should have done that on day one. On day one, because we already knew that the obstruction was going to be legendary. They warned us they were going to do that the day President Obama got elected.